When I think of my nostalgia for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, I remember the feeling of discovery. It was the second time in my life where I experienced a whole new way of consuming a franchise that I was familiar with. It didn't matter to me what the flaws were. I was fully engaged in visiting what I could see and climbing what I felt I shouldn't, and always being rewarded for it. Despite playing plenty of open-world games and my fair share of Zelda games, the experience felt incredibly unique, and that is what made it special. And after rewatching my playthrough, I've decided to place it ahead of Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. Here's why. Playing through the game, there were definitely no lulls that hurt my experience. I explored to my heart's content and never felt overwhelmed or disappointed. I kept finding cool new things to look at or do. I encountered puzzles I felt really proud of for solving, and fights that gave me a sense of accomplishment. By the end of it, I said the game was probably a 10 out of 10 and had no negative things to say about it. The durability system rarely became an issue for me, and the main story dungeons were still enjoyable despite the different design choices. The benefits of the exploration vastly outweighed any negatives the game sprouted up, and because I engaged in so much exploration, I never felt burdened by the other aspects people criticized. I really felt like I got the perfect experience out of the game, and that's what really created the special feeling I got. If there was one game out there that could validate my purpose for streaming, it would be The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Its presence thrives on the nostalgia I had for it and wants me to revisit those discoveries and feelings I had. Yet, I didn't get any of that. I find it strange, but also expected. It's been more than 5 years since I played the game, but I still already experienced what it had to offer me. Perhaps in the end, this is the outcome of rewatching my own playthroughs. Even though I found the playthrough to be fun and exciting in areas, that spark wasn't there. Despite the nostalgia not being there for me, I definitely felt engaged. Even though I spent so much time exploring and not progressing the main story, there was so much visual stimulus in the surroundings. There were neat areas, enemy camps, Korok seeds, shrines, and bosses all over the place. I felt anxious when the Lino fights were happening, and I felt surprised when the first Talus popped up. Based on memory, I ranked The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 38 out of 117, and as crazy as this sounds, I think I see this game ranking much lower than that as time goes on. Despite me having no issues with the game, and despite it being one of the most impactful Zelda games I've played, it's still a Zelda game at the end of the day. That's not to speak negatively on the franchise, but to establish its limitations. An RPG with enjoyable mechanics and a solid story would always beat out a Zelda game. Even though I rank gameplay above story when it comes to enjoyability, a game with the story I enjoy will always be a valuable indicator. To say it another way with made-up numbers, games like Zelda could have a point ceiling of 35, while games that excel in gameplay, but also insert a story that I enjoy, could have a point ceiling of 100. Having said that, this is still a top-tier game for me as it currently stands, and I feel it sits between Tales of Berseria and Deus Ex: Mankind Divided for the time being. It's a magnificent game and one I hope I never forget.